not those of WSMN, its owners, and/or associates.
Lisa and Robin are two fun friends diving deep into conversations where nothing is taboo. They believe in eating dessert before dinner and wearing the bikini. They're allergic to labels, authority, and cheap shoes. Currently, they're launching themselves through life being the good time, bold enough to take risks and inquisitively asking, what's next? They hail from New Hampshire, but they could be anywhere dressed in cute clothes. If they had to share a tombstone, it would read, "Curiosity killed these cats." Your hosts, Lisa and Robin on the mic.
Welcome to Lisa and Robin on the mic. You were listening on WSMN 1590 AM, 95.3 FM. You can watch, stream, and listen on WSMN.live. We are always up live on YouTube, and you can find us, if you miss us at the hour, on Spotify and everywhere you find your favorite podcasts. Welcome to a beautiful Thursday, and I am busting out of my skin. So I'm just going to start by saying that. And then I'm going to say that Robin is not with us this week. She's heading on a plane as we speak to Nashville, so she'll tell us all about that fun little trip. But I am here in the studio with Dina Akel from Vieira Luxe, and we are here to talk about designing fashion and our first ever New Hampshire Fashion Week. Welcome, Dina.
Thank you for having me.
I am so excited for you to be here. Thank you for saying yes to come and talk to me. I am disappointed in my Instagram algorithm that I would get 400 posts about New Hampshire Fashion Week after New Hampshire Fashion Week, but not one post that it was coming so that I can attend. So let me give you a little bio here about Dina. She's going to give me her phone because I was not able to Google two-step my my Gmail to get her bio, but I'm going to tell you a little bit about her. Then we're going to talk about how she came up through fashion and her love of fashion. And then we're going to also talk about what it's like to organize a fashion week, the very first one in New Hampshire. So I'm so excited to have her. Let me get my glasses on. You know, I need my glasses. Okay. So Dina Akel, Vieira Luxe, and New Hampshire Fashion Week. Our guest today is Dina Akel, founder and CEO of Vieira Luxe, a bridal and occasional wear boutique in downtown Nashua, known for its mission of affordable luxury inclusivity. Dina is also a creative force behind VL Couture, her personal design brand that brings art, architecture, and emotion to life through custom, one-of-a-kind gowns. With over a decade of luxury fashion and retail, Dina has transformed the local fashion scene, not only by designing stunning pieces, but by empowering creatives across New England. She also is the visionary behind New Hampshire Fashion Week, a growing platform that celebrates designers, models, and artisans from across the region while supporting local nonprofits like the Manchester Community Music School. Today we'll be talking about New Hampshire's Fashion Week is redefining what it means to be fashionable in New England, from community impact and inclusivity to entrepreneurship, creativity, and the art of turning passion into purpose. I am squealing in delight. Dina, thank you. Thank you. Okay, so tell me, when did your love of fashion begin?
When I was a kid, 1,000%. My mom actually taught me how to sew. So I'm going to be dating myself just a little bit, but back in the 90s, we didn't have phones. We didn't have computers. And part of the way that my mom would have fun with her kids, there's 5 of us, would be, playing school so that we could learn. And part of it was learning how to sew, sewing together. We would sew like these little dolls together, like little humans, and create the hair with yarn, and like the eyes would be embroidered. It's not like the pop-in eyes. And so I think that kind of spearheaded my passion for fashion. And when I was in school, I never felt like I wanted to fit in with everyone. I just wanted to be me. So I always dressed as I pleased, and I mixed and matched things all the time hats, like you name it. I would always get compliments from teachers like, okay, that's a nice outfit today. But like when it came to like friends and like cliques, those things never existed for me. So there were never any barriers. It was just, I wanted to be friends with everyone. And I did
you want to dress everyone?
Oh my God, yes.
Like, what are you wearing?
But
You're not, you
also
shouldn't be wearing
like
that.
back in the day we had cliques, right? Like
Yes.
we're like, okay, we're with like the gothics, and then we have the preppies and all. I literally wore all of it, and I would go to those different groups, and like I felt like the fashion statement was the group, if that made sense. So I was friends with everybody, and I loved it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So I will date myself. I had a paper cutout doll of a woman.
I know.
And I had fold over tabs over outfits. And she was paper, and you would change her outfit by folding the tab over her outfit. And it wasn't good enough for me, because I also grew up without phones and 4 television channels and all of that I would design my own and then cut out little paper tabs and make my own clothes.
I love that. I used to have those. They're like, they had a lot of vintage ones back in the day.
Did
My
they?
mom
Yeah.
kept all of that.
That's
Oh,
interesting.
That's awesome.
But then I went to the library, and there was this book about drawing fashion. So I had notebooks. Like when I saw your sketches online, again, the squealing and delight of knowing you were coming on. And then, I went to a Catholic school. I had a uniform, and nothing suffocated my personality by wearing this plaid same outfit day after day. So then I got into college, and when girls were wearing sweatpants and being comfy to study, I was in leather skirts and cut out jeans, and I was trying to express myself. I've always been someone who's used clothing to express myself.
I absolutely love that. It's funny you say uniforms, because like when I was a kid, I was in uniforms, and I happen to be sort of wearing a uniform today, where I have like my tie and my shirt. But because I went to, as a kid, I went to school in Egypt,
how
just
cool.
for like 2 years. But like we literally had suits. It was like the skirt, the jacket, the button-up shirt, and they only came in like yellow, blue, and white, like the baby colors. And then there was a tie as well. So like it was a very structured school.
Right.
And as I grew up, do you remember Avril Lavigne?
Yes.
I followed her like so heavily. And today's like kind of an inspiration of that. I literally have a skirt over my pants.
Yes.
And like the tie and all of it.
We'll get a picture after so we can post it so everybody knows how it's going.
But I love that.
So then when did you get into fashion for financial purposes? Like, okay, this is going to be a business. I'm going to take my ideas and my creativity and my love of something and turning it into.
You're going to laugh at me.
No, I love it.
I did not get into fashion at all. I was in science.
Yeah.
I became a scientist. And
What kind of scientist?
So I wanted to focus on parasitology, which is
I don't
more
even know
of
what
like
that is.
It's kind of gross.
Okay.
It's the study of parasites.
Oh,
so
okay.
I wanted to get into tropical medicine and learn more about that. My family, they're immigrant parents, so they wanted me to have a very structured life, and
They wanted you to be a doctor.
and
All
they
foreign
wanted me to-
parents
yeah,
want their
they're
kids to be
doctor,
doctors.
lawyer, you name
We
it.
need them for later.
But it was for security, They're
Yes.
like, we it was hard for us growing up. We don't want you to go through that. So please try to find something secure.
And I do think immigrant parents, and you can correct me if I'm wrong,
Yeah.
because I'm second generation, but that they feel like this is the place to make something of yourself. Make
Yes.
something important of yourself, because we
Yes.
can't do this other places. We have
Yeah.
this freedom here, and there's like an obligation
Yeah.
to immigrant children. I think there's so much more pressure on them.
Yes, I'm first generation, so and the oldest out of all my
Okay.
siblings. So that was definitely huge pressure growing up. But also, it's like I knew how difficult it was to like be here, live here, leave their families behind to create a better life for us. And this is a topic that not a lot of people get to talk about too much. But I was a creative from the start. I took that into science and tried to make it feel creative in my way, but it didn't work out.
Yeah.
Like I graduated, did well, worked at Mass General, worked at Tufts Medical. I just did not enjoy myself. I was miserable.
Yeah.
And I finally made the big decision, because I was living on my own and everything. I was like, I'm just going to quit and do something different. I need to let my creative juices fly, became an event planner. That got me into wedding planning. And then I met a bridal shop owner in Boston, and they're like, I need help part-time here, but also like you can help with wedding planning and get clients, so it's easier. And I was like, okay, this sounds like a solid idea.
Mm-hmm.
I ended up falling in love with the dresses, and I was like, yeah, no more wedding planning.
Someone
Done.
else do that nonsense. Let's get this bride looking
I
good.
know. I finally felt like the pieces had come together for me at that moment when I was working there. And I stayed there for like 5 years. Like, I loved what I was doing. Like, it didn't matter how much I was getting paid or anything. I just felt really fulfilled. And that's kind of where all this all started.
So can I bring into the fact that I think so many people and social media perpetuates this, that there's only one path to a place. And what I don't think people understand, or they may understand it, but they don't want to live it, is that you never know where something's going to take you.
1000%.
And if we can use every opportunity as a learning opportunity and be curious about, like, what can we learn in this? What is this? Because it gives us skills we can transfer. Skills are transferable.
Yeah.
And I love that story for you. I love that that's the way it came out. And so then you started designing wedding dresses.
So I really loved styling.
Okay.
Dresses, and after COVID hit, all the fun stuff there. I don't need to repeat what happened
No,
there.
we won't. It's trauma.
I know.
We call it the C word.
The C word. I'm gonna use that.
Yeah, it's the C word.
Yeah. So I had decided February before the shutdown that I wanted to start my own business.
Perfect
I was
timing.
like, yay, let's do it. 2020 is like an even number, and like we're
So
gonna make this
auspicious.
happen. Yes. And I'm married to a Chinese man, so auspicious numbers are huge. Yeah. I got married in 2019, and then that happened, and I was like, great.
Yeah.
But
Perfect timing.
anyways, it didn't stop me. I ended up I got sewing machines. I figured, you know what, we're going to start the business by helping the community. And we made like 5,000 masks or something like that. And we like handed it out to like all the hospitals. And I was living in Boston, so it was mostly like Massachusetts, New York. Actually, we did a little bit of New Hampshire as well. And then from there, I started selling dresses online.
Mm-hmm.
And then I opened up my store because it's a wedding dress. You got to try it on.
Yes.
It's just like the one thing where like everyone thinks, oh no, e-commerce, like people can just buy that online. I'm like, people actually don't want to buy that online.
No.
They
Half of the
want-
fun is trying them on and seeing how they
It
look and
is.
seeing how they feel.
But
And
you also don't know what kind of quality you're getting.
right.
When you're ordering, people are like, oh, but it looks good. I'm like, yeah, but what's the construction inside? Is it even going to hug where you want it to hug, etc.? So that's another topic for another day. But yeah, that's kind of like how I started. And because I had so much exposure to the industry, I was traveling overseas, traveling nationally to different wedding expos, meeting designers in person, learning about their stories. It really inspired me to be like, why don't I just try? Because like I sketched too.
Mm-hmm.
I sketched when I was a kid. I still sketch till today. And I'm like, what if I tried to bring it to life?
Yeah.
And I tried, and I debuted last year. Last year was my first year that I actually put something out there in the public.
Mm.
And I sold like a lot of them already.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes me so happy that people like what I can create, that brings me joy.
Yeah. So one of the things that again, I'm really disappointed. Do I not post enough pictures of me in dresses and put hashtags of fashion and outfit of the day, that my algorithm cannot give me this in advance? So like I said, I see it pop up and I'm like, this just happened. And now it's showing up in my feed and I'm infuriated. But tell me what it's like to create a fashion week from start.
Oh my God. It's a lot of work. I feel like my science background kind of helped me in all of this too, and my event planning background. It literally is like so serendipitous that it all just like happened the way it did in my journey. Because I have such an analytical brain, and I think of everything. I'm just like, how does everyone feel where they are? Like, what do the models need? right? What do the designers need? Like, what's important to them? Why are they here? I ask like all the W's for each individual group to make sure that we cover everything. So planning, I knew that there was no way I could do it by myself. I'm not that kind of person. It takes a village to make something beautiful.
And how do you convince people to do something for the first time?
Yeah.
Because once something has taken off, everybody wants to be a part of it.
Right.
But when you're talking about something new and there's nothing tangible to grab onto, it's like, well, this could be great, or it could be crappy, or it could be you might not pull it together, or, how do you get people to jump on when there's nothing yet?
Well, there's a lot of groundwork that happened way before this even came to fruition. I am such a networker, and I really do love the relationships that I have with everyone around me. So like, I've been so involved. I was part of the Goldman Sachs 10KSB program. I was part of USA Women's Entrepreneurship Cooperative. I've been with the chamber for years, the Nashville Chamber, and I've had a lot of contacts in the fashion industry prior to all of this, right?
So it actually was pretty seamless for you.
It was a little bit more seamless because I am very connected with my community. And so the folks that I have worked with in the past, when you go and you pitch something like that, where you're like, look, I know this has never been done before, but like, I truly believe in it. And they've seen my progress and what I did with my store and who I've worked for. And I've collaborated with a lot of them, even prior to opening the store, prior to New Hampshire Fashion Week. And they're like, I know that this girl, when she says she's going to do something, she's going to do it. So yes, it was a little bit more seamless because I had those connections, but it was because I cared about those connections, that I had already worked with them prior, and they knew my work ethic. Yeah.
Yeah, that's wonderful to be able to have a track record with people, and then it's almost like you have this group already willing to collaborate because they already have such a good, strong relationship with you. And it looked beautiful.
And they're also really good at what they do. That's the crazy part. Like, everyone got to do what they're amazing at. Like, our stylists, they do this for a living. They love styling. So that was like a no-brainer for them. We had service sponsors like Up Healing. She does interior design. The floor plans, everything seamless because that's her job and she loves doing what she's doing. Ion Electrical was our uplighting. The lighting was like number one for me. And Ed was amazing because he was like, what kind of lights do you need? What does it look like? He had never actually purchased those lights before, so he needed to learn more. And we would be in meetings just talking about that. And I had a photographer in that meeting because guess what? Who's taking the photos? Who needs that lighting? It's the videographer, the photographer. So it really is... there's so much depth to production in itself that we have to remember, again, why are we doing what we're doing and who needs to be involved so that it's like perfect. There's no such thing as perfect, but you know what I mean? Just like your vision.
Right. Yeah. It is taken from your mind into an equivalent out in the world. It's a live thing.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then from the pictures, I've been obsessively staring at these pictures. I'm very jealous that I didn't go, but next year I'm going. Like, whenever the tickets are on sale, I'm buying 2026
They're
tickets.
already.
Oh, excellent!
They're already out.
I will be putting that on my 2026 calendar, which I'm about to buy. So, tell us what was the favorite part of the fashion week. I mean,
about like planning it,
the planning it, and then the execution. Like, when you were there, what is your favorite part?
So, my favorite part about the planning is getting everyone on the call. Is that weird?
No, that's
just because like the ideas are flowing and everyone's excited. They're excited with you. Like, that's how you know you have the right team to pull this off. But of course, we had 2 international designers join us this year, which I am so grateful for. Rika Sposa and Justina Smart. Love you guys. They couldn't be available because they were in New York. They had to do their shows in New York. So they were like, okay, these are the styles we're sending you. Have at it. And you guys can pick your models, everything. So I think the connecting of like the model to the garment to how it was going to be styled. Again, that's my fashion side, right? I love doing that with our styling team. That was probably like one of my favorites. And then also just like hearing how excited people were. I love that. Now, when the event happened, the I actually ended up crying. It was like the moment, it was like halfway through the show when we had the models going down the runway, and I had, I'm timing everyone. Okay,
Yes.
you go. But I'm also looking at the crowd and how they're reacting. That to me was the most emotional I had ever gotten in the process, because you finally are seeing why you did what you did, and that you did something great because people are truly enjoying themselves, and designers feel supported, models feel supported, backstage feels supported, everyone feels supported. And that to me is like, you can't compare that to anything else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And who was the average guest?
Oh my God. So many different types of people.
Really? So okay.
Many.
So I've never been to a fashion week.
Yeah.
And I was just recently saying I've never been to a food and wine festival. I said
I
this
have
in
not
August.
done that either. I need to do that.
Okay, there's one in Tampa if you want to go. We can do like a little
Let's do
thing. I
it.
feel like we should do some kind of girls trip. And then I was like, and I've never been to a fashion week. I feel like this is a travesty of some kind. I was just saying these two things, right? And I'm like, I've only ever seen, online or in a magazine and stuff like that. And when I saw the clothing that was on this runway, I was just like, oh, wow, I really wish I was at this one. Because you know how they have a theme.
Yes.
And sometimes, I don't get the theme.
Yeah.
I'm all
it
about...
might not be for you. The theme might not be for you. Yeah.
It might not be for me at all.
Exactly.
So when I saw all of these, I was like, oh, I want to wear these clothes.
Yay.
Like I picked out today's dress by one of the dresses on there. I'm like, she's going to know which one was my favorite by just putting this on today. Yeah. And you did. You guessed the dress that I was like, okay, there's one that I was like, why wasn't I in that dress?
I love that. No, listen, every fashion week is so different. And I will tell you something about me. I don't pay attention to those.
Okay.
I've been to like fashion weeks in Rhode Island and Massachusetts. I haven't really gone to the ones in New York. And I part of it is just timing.
Sure.
And not being able to leave the store for that long.
Absolutely.
But I didn't think about any of those when I was planning mine. I thought about who most likely will be my audience, what do I think they're looking for, and how do I create such a mix that it involves almost everyone's interest. Because we had Bloomingdale's outlet store from Merrimack Premium Outlets. They joined us in showcasing. And one of the reasons we brought them on board, even though they're not a designer, is that Bloomingdale's is known for always bringing on emerging designers. And so that in itself was just huge testimony to their mission, but also like what we're trying to do and connect our up and coming designers to groups like that. And so I tried to do some like clothing from Bloomingdale's that was attainable for most people, where you can really envision yourself wearing it, like a suit for a guy, right? The tops, bottoms. There was casual wear in there. There was formal wear in there. There was street wear in there. So it kind of we got almost every type of vibe,
yes,
in there, so that we could learn more about what the audience really enjoyed. And people have already went out and bought some of these items. Like I'm getting phone calls like, where do I get that outfit? I really love that. And I'm connecting them. And that is also, again, like why I did this is because some fashion weeks, you do the show and then that's it. There's nothing. There's no follow-up. There's no, I have a buyer for you. And I'm not talking about the big brands out there that already have that kind of connection. I'm talking about the up and coming. Like I've done fashion shows outside of here, and not once did I have anybody hit me up for one of my pieces.
Interesting.
So then you think about it and you're like, why am I doing these fashion shows? Right.
Right.
Or are people not interested?
Right.
Right. So I was like, no, I thought about it as a business owner, as a designer.
What's the point of showing us beautiful things if we can't have them after?
Yeah, but also
I don't want to know that beautiful thing exists and it's out of my reach.
We haven't even gone into like why I did New Hampshire Fashion Week to start with, in terms of like what our plan is for the next few years. But
tell me that.
I'm excited because we're gonna be a nonprofit, hopefully by next year, crossing my finger. And we're really trying to create like a collaborative space so that designers can come in, work together, sewing machine room, be able to have business consulting, because some creatives, they're good at creating, but the business side is the scary part. So being able to have that as an option for them so that they can build their brand on their own and not have to rely on other folks.
Or an Etsy store.
Yes, exactly.
Which is great. Etsy gives people a place to do that.
Yes,
but,
yes.
you know, do you want to do something more than just sit on a Etsy store?
Not everyone's... Also, Etsy might not even be for your market.
Yes.
Right? That's the thing. Like, you got to learn for your garments or for your accessories or whatever you create, what is the actual platform that's going to be most beneficial for you? And that's the business side. And then for models, being able to have a space where they can practice. We can get someone to do modeling consulting for walks, because not everybody can walk very
like a
well,
model.
but they can. Some people can pose and they can't walk, or vice versa. They can walk, but they're not good at the posing. So there is a lot of education in there to grow. And this is literally for the community. People are like, oh, fashion, what does that have to do with New Hampshire? And I'm like,
Everything.
it builds the economy. Like, you have stores in here that have garments. Where do you think those garments come from? Well, we know some of it comes from overseas, but what if it was coming from like your next door neighbor? Wouldn't you go support them? You know? But tourism too. A fashion week brings in tourism.
And I think that people have the wrong impression. You know, we had a comedian on, and he does these great skits where every reel is a different state, and he wears a different outfit. So Maine responding to the lobster roll, Vermont, you know, so he's hilarious. But we think that, you know, we are New England, but we are all different, right?
Very much so.
Would people say New Hampshire is fashionable, you know, as the first thing that they're saying? No, you think Boston, you think of fashion. But I don't think that's true. Yeah. I think it's, if you talk to me and all my friends, or whenever we're going out somewhere, we're always snapping, what's the vibe? What are we all wearing? Yeah. Even if it's like, I just want to know, are we doing jeans and a casual top, or am I doing a little dressy? Are you wearing a dress? You know, we go
through all of that.
It's all, every conversation is this way, you know, and we go shopping. And I'm a boutique shopper. I try to be a boutique shopper as much as possible. I shop at Fresh all the time.
I love that.
Viva Boutique in Manchester, as well as Peridot in Manchester. And there's a couple of other ones. And I started because I wanted one good piece of clothing that I could build on.
Yeah.
So what became really important for me was not to buy everything in black.
Yep.
Okay, I need my closet to have some color. I'm not going to a funeral every day. And I didn't even wear black to my grandmother's funeral. I wore a deep
Love
navy
that.
blue, because she didn't like black. But so part of it is like, and then I learned a little bit about fast fashion. And of course you would like the cheap thing once in a while, especially if you're not going to wear it a whole bunch. But if you can have better clothing in your closet that is made better, your closet expands exponentially.
Yeah.
Like, I go into my closet, this dress is from 2020. I have worn it birthday parties in casinos. I've worn it family reunions. I'm wearing it on this radio show. Like, you have a piece that everyone's like, oh, isn't that cool? And it looks new because you haven't seen it for 2 years.
Yes.
But it's a beautiful dress. It fits me well. And that's another thing I think we should talk about. I think we would all be into fashion a little bit more if it fit us.
Yes.
When you're buying off the rack, fast fashion at a Macy's or someplace, that's made for a very specific body that is not most of us.
Yeah.
And feels like it fits as such.
Agreed. There's a lot to be said about fit and sizing in general. I always tell people, like, do your research on the brands that you're going to buy from, for sure. Because you can have something that looks like it costs, I don't know, $300, but it's made with like maybe $20 fabric. And then it doesn't last you, and you just spent all of that because it looks expensive, but it's not actually expensive. Like, the fabric's not that great. And I like, when I was in college, I was learning all about that. I had to save money, right? So like, fast fashion was a thing. Yeah. And I started to learn more about what I was buying, because things would rip after like wearing it for a month. And I'm like, wait, but this looks expensive. Mm-hmm. But I really had to remember, I have a science background. Okay. I didn't have fabric knowledge.
Right.
I was still learning all of that as I went. Like, I know more now, but before I knew nothing.
So I think of the Harley Davidson t-shirts for women. They're like $70, $72 for a T-shirt that says Harley Davidson. They don't make it through the wash once without the bottom seam coming undone.
That's not
So
good.
I tell people, like, I stopped buying them myself.
Yeah.
I'm not paying $70 for a T-shirt that can't make it through a wash.
Right.
Like, shame on Harley Davidson. I'll say it a million times.
Yeah.
Collaborate with somebody who knows what they're doing. Charge your $78, but make a T-shirt. And I don't know, the men's seem to be different than the women's.
They are. They can be.
And I don't know, like, every seam is just, there's no seam at the bottom. There's no rolled seam anymore because the seam comes undone. So there's a pet peeve to me. Once I got into slightly better clothing, it's not that I became a snob, it's that this doesn't feel good.
Yes.
The fabric doesn't feel good. It doesn't lay right.
It just doesn't last. Like,
And then I can't wash it and wear it again. And God forbid I
Yeah.
find something that I love and then I get 2 wears out of it or 3. I'm pissed.
I would be too.
Because I'm like, I love
would
this.
be too.
I
would
love
be
this.
too.
You know?
Like, things that last, you're going to have it for a while.
Yep.
I think one of the challenges that most people have that aren't used to shopping that way and figuring out construction and all of that is also styling. Like, people go and they'll buy a top because they like it. And then they find a bottom and they like it. But they're not buying it as an outfit.
Yes.
Whoops. And so another reason why New Hampshire Fashion Week is great is because we show people how you can wear things. And then you're like, oh my God, I would totally wear that together. Right? And now they're shopping for outfits instead of pieces. And I think that's why some closets too are like very crowded because you're like, oh, I love all these, but like, I don't know what to put with this and that.
I have nothing to wear.
Yes.
I have all these
I have
clothes
nothing to
and I have
wear.
nothing to wear because none of it goes together.
Yes.
And I will tell you that because I buy stuff, I love when there's like an old thing and then I get a new something and I'm like, I have a new outfit.
They go together.
Right, because they go together. I can do this and I can do this. I can dress this up. I can dress this down. I can wear it with a belt. I cannot wear it with a belt. I can wear it with a blazer. Like I do. I'm a person who very much uses clothing as a creative outlet for myself, and it also is a way. As women, I'll speak for myself, but I didn't always love my body. Not even that I love it today, but you know, like we're not raised on your body is healing from the inside. You're doing all these amazing things keeping you alive. It's like, I don't like the way this looks here and I don't like the way this looks here. So part of dressing better was loving myself.
Yes. Yes.
You know, and if I'm not feeling good, but I have on that beautiful dress, I will feel better. Just give me an hour.
Yeah. No.
Give me an hour in the pretty dress.
It really, I mean, like, things have gotten so much better now in the media and like inclusivity of like all sizes and body types, and the confidence levels have definitely gone up. Now, at my shop downtown, Vieira Lux, one of the things that we do is we have to personally style everyone, and that a lot of it is psychology too, because there are a lot of people who come in and they're just like not happy with their body. No matter what you put on them, they're not going to be happy with it. So there's a lot of talks about, okay, why are we not liking this? Is it the neckline? Is it the fabric? And then after you ask all these questions, you then find out, I just don't like how my body looks in this or that. And that's where like the expertise of a stylist is truly important, because we do have professional stylists in New Hampshire and Nashua. Some of them were at the show. This is their full-time job, where they will go shopping with you, or they will look at your closet and see what works, what doesn't. But also just understanding how to dress your body the way you want to feel, right? Because that goes into a whole other realm of like construction of garments, and why, again, that is super important. You want to feel this way about, you know, your bust area. This is what we can do to bring certain lines to make it feel better. Or if you want something with the hips and you want to minimize the hips or make them larger, etc., these are the lines that we need to show, or like the type of silhouette that you can wear to do that. There's a lot of science in it.
So you will appreciate this, but for 2 years I didn't wear jeans.
Really?
This was in the 90s.
Okay.
Because they would, the J-Lo, very, very low riding.
Goodness, yes.
So I didn't learn this, so I just hated my body during that time. And the only way I stopped hating it was I just started wearing dresses and skirts.
Yeah.
Because I would try on jeans and I'm like, I can't go out in public in these.
Trends, yeah.
Because everything gave me a muffin top. I did not have a muffin top except in the jeans. Do you know what I mean? Like, put me in a bathing suit over putting me in these jeans
Oh
because,
my God.
and this part of you that goes from your belly button to the back of your
Yeah.
butt. Is that the inseam? No, that's not the inseam. What's that?
The bottom part?
The one that goes underneath your crotch. Like, you know, like if you have enough length in the crotch of your pants.
Oh. Inseam is part of that measurement.
Okay, so
But yeah.
like my inseam, I'm like, how big is my inseam that none of these jeans fit? Right?
It's
I'm
the
like,
drops.
the drops.
Yeah,
I'm like, what am I?
like, ugh.
So, and then I worked in a professional office, and it was bad enough because I worked in a professional office, but I didn't want to wear a man suit.
Oh my God, suiting is a whole other thing. Like
Right?
women's suiting, because we don't get to find those very often.
No, because we look like men in women's clothing,
Yeah.
but we don't look like a man or a woman. We don't have the power piece of what the men's suit is doing because it's not
It's the
tailored to
cut.
us.
It's
It's
the
the wrong cut.
Yeah.
But then we also don't have any femininity of being a woman and what that brings to because
Yeah.
we don't have the cut. So we have this. So I wasn't wearing that, but I was also not wearing jeans. Like on Casual Friday, I'm
It's
like,
funny because
I'm in
like
a dress.
people had started putting belts around the suit, like
Because we were
around
like,
the
what are we
jacket
doing?
to define the waistline, and even like getting smaller jackets to define the bust line.
do you remember X-Files? Do you remember?
Yes.
Okay, remember she used to wear the FBI, the long.
Oh my God.
That was my entire corporate America outfit option.
Yay.
And I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. And so, but I don't know how I got, the jean piece.
Yeah.
So,
Low rise, right?
and then I started sewing my own clothes and I'm like, actually, if it's made for you, anything can look good. If it's sewn for you, if
Yeah.
it's fitted to you, all of a sudden I have a short bust to shoulder line for average clothing. Everything wants to fall off my
and that's
shoulders.
very common, actually. There are a lot of people who have that, and so we end up doing a lot of when we do the tailoring, it's a strap tailoring
Okay.
to tighten it up because
So
it's very
almost everything
common.
I have to have this done.
Yeah.
And I learned that by going to Fresh, and I was like, oh, it doesn't fit. She's like, it will fit once we take an inch from these
Yes.
two things. And she would hold it for me, send it out, bring it back. I
Yeah.
didn't even have to do anything.
Yep.
So that's how I fell in love with the boutiques. It was like, well, now this fits, and I'm not sitting and my shoulders are falling off, and I'm tugging at my clothing, and I'm
Yes.
doing all of that. And so
Why
then
are
you feel more
people scared to use tailors? I'm just like, I know, like maybe I'm used to just like because I'm in the industry, but like people
a
are
really good
so
question.
scared to go to a tailor and get things like fixed.
Do they
like-
think it's a cost problem?
Maybe so, cause like
Or maybe fast fashion, like I only paid $40
honestly,
for a whole
it
dress.
could-
Why am I
people
gonna?
just forgot about the tailoring altogether because they're like, I'll just buy another one with that cost.
Right, but what you lose out by not having something is to feel good inside the clothes. Like
Yeah.
one thing that people always say to me is like, "Oh, you're always so dressed up,"
Yeah.
but I'm comfortable. I'm in clothing that fits me.
Yeah.
So I'm very comfortable. I'm not comfortable in sweatpants because I don't look good in sweatpants.
Yeah.
I joke that I can't wear yoga pants outside of yoga
Yeah.
because this is not my best look anymore. I'm not 25. It's not my best look. So I think we should normalize tailors. We should
Yeah.
normalize getting your clothes fitted to you, or even designing. I would love to design something from scratch.
You
know, with
totally
somebody
can.
else.
Oh, we have designers all over here. I work with 2 other designers in Nashua.
Wait, you have to
No, I'm serious.
introduce me.
Yes, of course. And like they can make almost anything that you want. One of the designers was like, and she's our in-house seamstress. She was on the show. She was at New Hampshire Fashion Week. She did all the Victorian-esque theater wear, and she's very passionate about historical fashion. So when there comes to like unique garments, she's a great resource. But she can also do regular shirts and pants,
And so she
etc.
could make people's clothing, that people could go buy better clothing, know that they're going to wear it, pay to have it tailored to them, and then
Yeah.
just be in love with this
And you can
outfit.
pick your fabrics. That's the other thing is like, if you're like, okay, well, I can't afford this 100% silk,
Right.
can I find something like within a medium grade of that? It might be cheaper,
Mhm.
but also it's still good quality.
Mhm.
So there's levels to all of that. Is
Mm.
it going to cost you a pretty penny to get something custom made? It will, but it's something that's going to last and it's unique to your body
Mhm.
and you. And like that trade is kind of dying out a little bit, and is another reason why we're doing this is to really like bring people out, learn how to sew. Let's try to make garments again. In this economy, you never know. I'm dealing with tariffs. That's like a big one where I'm like, I might as well just make my dresses because it's going to cost me the same. But at least it's unique to my store and unique to me.
Right. And I started sewing because I got price. We're going to go to the top of the hour. You can possibly stay with us for another hour, could you? Or 15 minutes or 20 minutes?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, perfect. Because I have so much, I feel like we haven't touched any topics yet.
No, that's okay.
But
I can talk all day.
So can I. Hence the radio show. I got these quotes for these curtains, and I'm like, I am not paying that much money for curtains. I'm going to learn to sew curtains. So I went and I sewed my straight lines, and I made some curtains, and the woman was a dress constructionist.
Okay.
So she was hired by people to make the construction, and then they would mass produce it in California.
Yeah, that's right.
And so she's teaching me things, and I'm like, well, I want to do this, and I want to do this. So I started sewing my clothes. And then that turned into like everybody would, oh, I love this. Oh, wait, you made it. Like, because they couldn't be like, I would like this. And then people wanted me to hem things for them or do things, but I cannot alter.
See, that is a different skill. That's a different skill. I cannot alter either. Like, can I?
I could hem a pair of pants, but
yeah,
barely.
But like professionally, no. Do not ask me to touch your garment.
Do not ask me to take in a suit.
Yeah, honestly, my skill set is appliquing and embellishing. That was like 2 words in one. And when it comes to construction, I do have to have someone else do the construction for me. Because one, again, I didn't actually go to fashion school. I didn't learn how to do that. But that doesn't make you less of a designer either. That's the other thing people need to understand is there's levels of designer. Like the, fashion houses, couture houses, those are people that can do everything, literally everything. That's why they're at that high-end level. That's why it's really expensive. And then there's a bunch of us who know how to maybe sketch, but don't know how to put it to fruition. So what do? You hire a team that can put it together for you. You have the ability to choose your fabrics and everything, but you're still a designer.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. And the reason why I brought this up is because these young girls started making their own bathing suits.
Nice.
And so then all of a sudden we had this influx to these sewing classes where there were this group of us who were making curtains or a dress or a shirt or something. Yeah. And these girls were coming in mass making bathing suits and then charging people because all their friends wanted these cool. They wanted to pick the fabric. They wanted to pick the style that was nice on their butt. They wanted to, whatever was the fashion at the time, they were like, that doesn't look good on me. I need another bathing suit.
Yeah.
And I loved watching these girls just develop, and it all started because we weren't making an apron. So I joke that whenever you have to do something that you don't want to do, you want to learn to cook, but someone's going to make you cook souffle. Well, I don't want to eat souffle. I don't want to do it. My interest is gone. You make me sew an apron, not interested. I want to sew curtains. I'm interested to sew curtains. These girls want to sew a bathing suit. And there would be a group of people who said, you can't do that first. You have to do this first because you have to get the basics. This woman didn't say that. She said, you want to make a bathing suit? You want it to look good on your butt? We're going to do this. We're going to measure. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. And then they fell in love with it. And then they can learn basics or whatever they need to learn afterward. That because you have to get people on what they really want.
And that's the crazy thing about career journeys too. Like bringing it full circle here is that until you find that thing that just brings you joy while you're doing it, no matter what, you're going to be good at that. You can make money off that because you're good at it. So with a lot of people, like I have a lot of younger siblings, and we talk about careers a lot, but like I can see some of them shining because they finally found their niche, and others struggling because they're still trying to figure it out. It is a constant journey.
Yes.
Like there's no age limit to that.
Yes.
And I got to keep saying that. There are designers that started in their 50s and 60s and they are making it, but they love what they're doing. So like passion is so huge when it comes to anything you do in life.
So Fresh is owned by Cheryl.
Yep, I know Cheryl.
You know Cheryl.
She's great.
Well, she started that when she retired from her corporate job.
I love that.
So when you look at her, in my head, she's my age, and she's like, honey, I started the store after I finished a career.
Yeah.
And it's because she loves what she does, that she looks so amazing. And she's so happy every day. And thank God, because I have a place to buy clothes. Like if she ever, I'm always saying, you cannot sell the store. You cannot retire from the store. What am I going to do?
No, I love her. We always refer people to each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because like we'll have sometimes there'll be like moms looking for mothers' dresses, and we have them. She has them, but ours sometimes are maybe too black tie formal, and so she'll take them because she has like the cocktail attire, and things that aren't like full length because we mostly do full length. But yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing, like working together as downtown businesses. It's
yes, great. Absolutely. And one thing that I'm always talking to the landlords about is get us having some more lunch places.
Yeah.
Because
that's been a conversation for years.
Because downtown is the restaurants are at night when people here, but the businesses are closed during the day because they've been open all day. It's just this juxtaposition. There's no balance. You want... You know, people talk about downtown being the vibe. I'm a realtor by trade. So this is a huge problem for me.
1,000%.
As the person who wants to rent these spaces and who wants to bring businesses like yours to these spaces, who wants Cheryl to do well so she continues to be in that space.
Yes.
That realtor mentality is like COVID shut all of these restaurants down. There should be some restaurants. I mean, maybe Surf doesn't have to be open for lunch, but 3 of these other restaurants on this side have to be open for lunch.
Someone else should be. Yeah, because a lot of us are working downtown.
And where do you get lunch?
Sometimes I just want to go and grab a soda.
Where do I do that?
Where do I do that? Especially when you're like right in the middle, you know? Then you're like, oh, I got to drive to CVS.
I got to get in my car. That's not the point of a downtown is to not get in the car.
You're supposed to be able to walk around.
Yes. So
I feel that.
I feel like that's mayorish type conversation or
it's
landlording.
It is happening. Those conversations are happening right now with the city. So I will say it's going to get better.
Good.
Because
I'm
also
putting
involved
up
in that too.
Good. And stop involving the barriers.
That's always crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know what their plan is.
Well, I know they said they paid for them, so they're going to keep putting them up. But
I think their contract's supposed to end soon with that. Either this year or next year.
Thank God. Because another thing that stops people is you put restaurant chairs out on the lawn, but there's no one there until 6 o'clock. But the businesses are open.
1,000%.
Have people having to leave the sidewalk to pass their business. 2 cents. Just our 2 cents over here. Was the first Fashion Week everything you were hoping that it could be?
So the first Fashion Week was actually last year.
Oh.
We did it at venues at the factory. It was, and this was in Manchester. It was the first ever show that we did. This is second year.
Okay.
So, of course, first year is always the hardest, right? One, team was smaller. We we did it within 3 months. And that was just a spur of the moment thing where I was like, I need to do this in New Hampshire. We'll figure it out. And it was awesome. We had 80 guests. We had about 80 guests in the showroom, and we had 5 designers. And I think that's what propelled this year's event, was that people really enjoyed that one. And we definitely had kinks in the first event that we were learning from, but we perfected it this year. And so that's why the audience was even more vibrant this year. We had people from everywhere. I mean, it was community members, it was local business owners, it was people who just loved fashion and heard about it. So the algorithm does take time, right? Because this is only year 2.
Yes.
And they're like, are people actually interested in this? Are people actually looking this stuff up? So I think next year is going to be even bigger.
We have to hashtag.
Yes.
So that the hashtag, does something.
Hashtag Granite Glam.
Okay, I will be forever hashtagging Granite Glam because that should be actually my name, actually.
I love that. Do it. My name's Granite Glam. Who are you?
And then they see me at the supermarket, like in some coat and something.
Listen, I'll go to the supermarket like this, and people are like, "What? Where did she come from?"
We always joke that
is
sometimes...
she from out of state? No.
No. Sometimes we'll be wearing something in here, and then we have to run a quick errand somewhere, and you know that people are like, "What is she? What is that?" Last year, we were from Gilligan's Island. We were Marianne and the movie star there. So I was in a sequins dress and a wig at the supermarket, and they were
That's
like,
hilarious.
"This is really fun."
I love that. I love that. Listen, we got personalities out here.
What if someone takes a
Maybe
picture
Main
of me?
Street downtown will be the runway show.
That would actually be really
show.
cool.
Wouldn't that be cool?
That would be really cool, actually. But weather would not cooperate, I imagine.
The weather is... Not in October. Not in October. Maybe the summertime.
So I feel like whenever anyone tries to plan a wedding in New England outside, I'm like, what are you doing?
What's the backup plan?
Where's the tents?
Yeah.
What are we doing? Because, I mean, you're just begging for a nor'easter in June or something.
Listen, you want that wedding, you're going to have that wedding, period. But you have to have plan A through Z.
Yes.
Like, you have to.
Yes. So we're going to go to the top of the hour in a second. I'm really excited that you can stay with us because I want to talk a little bit more about your store.
Sure.
Opening up a store is kind of a daunting task as a business person.
Yeah.
Or maybe you didn't find it as such, but that's one thing that I want to talk about. I want to talk about, you have stylists with you, you have all of the stuff. How do you coordinate all of that? And then I want to hear what some of your opinions of some of the current fashions going on. And then, like, what do we do about some trends that are coming when we like them or we don't like them? So that's another whole thing that I want to talk about. And then I want to talk about accessories.
Oh, yeah.
On top
Love
of that.
accessories.
I love this thing around your tie.
Yeah, it's a bracelet.
Oh, I love it.
Styling is everything.
I know.
And I love metals. Like, I like mixing my metals a lot.
Yeah. So I feel like we have to talk more about that.
Okay.
Because I've been buying belts in mass lately, different types of belts, because I have a lot of dresses and I have a lot of long dresses.
Yeah.
And so I think I'm going to need to start belting stuff.
Okay.
But you were listening to Lisa and Robin on the mic on WSMN 1590 AM, 95.3 FM. You can watch, stream, and listen on WSMN.live. I am here with Dina Akel from Vieira Luxe, and we are talking about New Hampshire Fashion Week, designing, and everything fashionable. Stay tuned to the top of the hour, and we will be back at about 11:07. We'll talk to you soon.
WSMN 1590, WSMN 95.3 FM Nashua. Listen, watch, and stream at WSMN.live.
ABC News, I'm Wayne Cabot, and here we go again. Senate Democrats are ready to reject a government funding bill today, again over health care. Vote number 10 if you're counting. Democrats say they're not going to budge until they get a guarantee on continuing the Obamacare subsidies. They run out in a few weeks in most states. When that happens, Democrats think voters will demand Republicans enter into serious negotiations. This is the Congresswoman-elect from Arizona.
The problem here is that this is not something a can that can get kicked down the road. People right now today are getting letters about the increases in their healthcare premiums going forward. So this is not something that we can put off.
Adelita Grijalva telling ABC's Start Here podcast she's still waiting to be sworn in and thinks Speaker Johnson is stalling, knowing that she'll vote to release the Epstein files. An alleged victim of Jeffrey Epstein is suing the Bank of New York Mellon and Bank of America, claiming